Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we are going to be finding out what happens if you loot Agent Milton during the final mission of the game, and what do you get off of his body. So this was a really cool experiment that one of you guys wanted me to try, because I hadn't even thought about this. This is during the final mission in Chapter 6, Red Dead Redemption, and we'll get to that point in a little bit. But in case you guys don't know, Agent Milton is like the lead detective in the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. And he's basically hired by Leviticus Cornwall to track down Dutch Vanderlyn and his gang. And we actually see Agent Milton on occasion, probably about once per chapter. And needless to say, he's not a very liked character. In the couple of interactions we have with him, obviously Arthur's not a fan of him, and the gang is certainly not a fan of him either.
It's gonna work out, John. It's gonna work out. Listen to Dutch.
Now, I don't expect you to understand this, but I have never been more proud of you than I am right now, brother. You're doing the right thing.
If I don't get that boy back safe, she'll kill us all.
I know, but looking at this logically, well, that boy is fine. They took him to scare us. Nobody takes a boy to harm him.
He's right, John.
What do you think, Arthur?
The boy will be fine. But, well, of course Marston's scared rotten. I mean, we killed all those people. We stirred up all that trouble. For nothing.
No, not for nothing. For living. Now, we get that boy back, and we go. Trust me.
Hey, Dutch, we got a problem.
Not a problem. Visitors. A solution. Good day, fine people. Mr. Vanderlyn, Mr. Matthews, I presume. And who are you?
Rip Van Winkle.
Huh. Good day, sir. Agent Milton, Pinkerton Detective Agency. Agent Ross. Ah, Mr. Morgan, nice to see you again.
And to what do we owe the pleasure, Agent Moron?
I don't know if you're aware, but this is a civilized land now. We didn't kill all them savages only to allow the likes of you to act like human dignity, and basic decency was outmoded or not yet invented. This thing, it's done.
This place ain't no such thing as civilized. It's man, so in love with greed, he has forgotten himself and found only appetites.
And as a consequence, that lets you take what you please, kill whom you please, and hang the rest of us? Who made you the messiah to these lost souls you've led so horribly astray?
I'm nothing but a seeker, Mr. Milton.
You ain't much of anything more than a killer, Mr. Vanderlyn. But I came to make a deal. It's time. You come with me, and I give the rest of you 3 days to run off, disappear, and go and live like human beings someplace else.
You came for me? Risk life and limb in this den of lowlifes and murderers so that they might live and love? Ain't that fine?
I don't want to kill all these folk, Dutch. Just you.
In that case, it'd be my honor to join you. Excuse me, friends. I have an appointment to keep with...
I think your new friend should leave now, Dutch.
You're making a big mistake. All of you.
Yeah, dreadful. We have got something to live and die for. How awful for us. Mr. Milton, stop following us. We'll be gone soon.
I'm afraid I can't. And when I return, I'll be with 50 men. All of you will die. Run away from this place, you fools! Run!
Come on.
Get your damn hands off of me, boy.
What now?
We get out of here. And quick. Any ideas?
I know a big old house, hidden in the swamps outside Saint Denis. I'm sure they'll find us eventually, but it should buy us a few days.
A few days is all we need.
There's a spot out by Shady Bell. Lenny and I got into that dispute with the previous occupiers. Place is well hidden.
You and Arthur, ride out to make sure no one else has moved in. Lenny, you go follow those fools out of here. Make sure that they leave. And John, we'll get Jack back, and we'll get going. Rest of you, get packing!
Okay, so that gives you some idea of who Agent Milton is. His first name is Andrew, by the way. I'm not sure if you knew that. He's called Agent Milton, Mr. Milton, Agent Moron throughout the game. But his name is Andrew. Now, this interaction with him in the final mission of the game happens about halfway through, where basically Arthur has to provide cover fire for Sadie Adler, who is on the streets of Van Horn trying to rescue Abigail from the fence, or like the trading post at the end of the dock. And what happens is Andrew Milton, Agent Milton, is waiting there with a few more of his men, and he basically ambushes Sadie, and she gets tied up just like Abigail is. So after that, it's up to Arthur to kill the rest of the Pinkertons that are in the street and make his way to the trading post. And then this cutscene occurs where you meet Agent Milton for the final time.
Okay, ladies, let's get out of here.
Calm down, Mr. Morgan. That's quite a cough.
Sure. Tuberculosis. I'll be dead soon. And you with me, Mr. Milton?
You'll be dead, sure. But I'm gonna be just fine. We offered you a deal, Mr. Morgan. You should have taken it.
I'm a fool, Mr. Milton.
Not all you boys have quite so many scruples. Old Micah Bell,
Micah, you mean Molly?
Molly O'Shea, sweated her a couple of times, never talked a word, had to let her go. Micah Bell, we picked him up when you boys came back from the Caribbean, and he's been a good boy ever since.
Okay. Okay.
Using your strength, Mr. Morgan.
You're still a yapping dog, Mr. Milton.
Horrible man. Now come on, both of you.
Now, I'm sure you guys were going to be wondering there, what happens if you don't grapple Agent Milton? Well, believe it or not, for this experiment, I was trying that as well. Even if you don't mash any of the buttons there, Abigail still shoots him. There's no scenario, not even an alternative cutscene where Agent Milton shoots Arthur. Now, as soon as that happens, you're sort of whisked away, and the game tells you to go get on the horse. What happens if you go back inside? Instead, can you loot Agent Milton's body? And the answer, believe it or not, is yes. You can loot Agent Milton's body. And that is pretty cool. Now, what I was hoping here is that we would get some special item, like could we take his Pinkerton badge? Would there be a unique sort of thing that we could grab off of him? That would be so cool. Unfortunately, it looks as if, although you can loot him, which is nice, it does seem as if it is just random loot. Like, the first time I looted him, I ended up getting like a couple of coins. I think it was like $1, some revolver cartridges, and a couple of other things. Now, you can actually take his hat, which is kind of cool. Now, unfortunately, it is not a storable or savable hat. It's one of these like bowler hats that has that red stripe around the side. I think that indicates that he is like a superior officer, as Agent Ross doesn't have that. It's only Agent Milton. I don't know enough about the Pinkerton Detective Agency officer rankings, but I would assume because he's like the main guy that's why he has the red stripe. But yes, you can actually sit here and loot Agent Milton, which is really, really cool. I didn't expect that at all. Now, you can also shoot up his body if you want, which I'm sure some of you guys will if you try this for yourself. You can't dismember Agent Milton like you can a regular NPC, and he just basically turns into a bloody mess if you were to shoot him over and over and over again. I don't know what happens to Agent Milton's body after this mission. He's definitely not there in the epilogue. Like, if you were to visit the fence as John Marston, his body is like still not in that corner. Like, they definitely cleaned him up. Honestly, it wouldn't be shocking if they like threw him into the water and that's that, because he doesn't have a grave anywhere. Now, what's interesting is over time, the mission will eventually fail, and you will have to restart this, and you can actually try this again. However, I noticed that after the first time, the door to the fence actually becomes locked. It's kind of strange. I thought I was locked out for good, but it turns out that the door on the back is open, so you can go inside that way. And that is really, really strange. I don't know why the door decides to lock. Maybe it was an oversight from Rockstar. Maybe you're not supposed to be able to go back inside and loot Agent Milton. It's sort of a glitch that you can do. And if we needed any more further proof that this was random loot that we were getting off of him, the next 2 or 3 times I looted him, it was all different. It was like bitters and some ammo and various amounts of money. So even though there's nothing specific on Agent Milton, it is cool that he is a character that you can actually loot. It would have been nice if you could have taken his like Pinkerton badge or something like that. And although you can take his hat, you can't save it. And then, like, you know, a minute or 2 later, Arthur has his final ride where he puts on his normal outlaw hat. So he would lose it anyways. You wouldn't be able to keep it for more than about 2 or 3 minutes. But anyways, that is what happens if you decide to loot Agent Milton during the final mission of the game in Red Dead Redemption 2. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Did you know you could do this? Have you tried this before? And what are some other experiments that we should try to do with either Agent Milton or just anything in general? You can let me know in the comments down below, or feel free to reach out to me on my Facebook page. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.